Watchdog. The Sports Watchdog, Amazing Kern.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports Watchdog. I'm your host, Mason Kern, here, as always, to tell you newsworthy happenings in the world of pro and college sports. And sometimes I'm just telling you about cool sports-related products, gadgets, and gear that I think you might like. But for today, I have a fantastic guest that I'm super excited about, and that would be 10-season Harlem Globetrotter veteran Chris Handles Franklin. This Lock Haven University, Pennsylvania graduate used his intense ball handling ability to finish his career second on the school's all-time assist list and fifth on the all-time steals list. He finished in the top 10 in the nation in assists and steals, not just once, but twice in his college career. Handles was introduced to the game by watching the Globetrotters in animation in the 1970s as he was growing up, and now he's living a dream, as he says, reveling in being a Globetrotter himself. Having put himself on the map in numerous television commercials from 2000 to 2004, freestyling with other basketball stars like Paul Pierce and Vince Carter, the mind-blowing talent he displayed in those commercials was just part of what brought him to the Globetrotters' attention. And in addition to his ball handling, Handles is also a trick shot aficionado. He holds the Guinness World Record for the farthest kneeling basketball shot made backwards, 60 feet, 7.5 inches, which he set on November 12th of 2015. So Handles is here to tell us more about his inspirations and accomplishments, what's coming up for the Harlem Globetrotters in the months ahead, and even share some success insights beyond the game itself. Hey there, Handles. Welcome to the Sports Watchdog. Great to have you here with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, like I said, so glad to have you here. So first off, I want to say congratulations on all the success you've realized with the Globetrotters organization. I mean, with 10 seasons under your belt, you've definitely had an amazing run. But what are some of the main factors that have allowed you to remain with the organization so long?
Well, I think with anything you do, you strive to be the best that you can be. I've perfected not only dribbling the basketball, but other aspects of being a Harlem Globetrotter. So I think that helped with my longevity and building such a great career with an iconic organization.
Now, I also understand that the Harlem Globetrotters have a new up-and-coming world tour called the Amazing Feats of Basketball. Can you tell us a little more about that? What's in store for ticket holders?
Well, of course, they'll see high-flying slam dunks, amazing ball handling, and great comedy. But most important, a lot of smiles and memories that'll last a lifetime. You know, it's called Amazing Feats of Greatness because, you know, a number of us are world record holders, and the fans are in store for a great, great game this year.
Now, I want to ask you about the four-point shot that the Globetrotters introduced in 2010, especially because I just saw you guys shooting around the four-point line with Klay Thompson recently, and you guys introduced the first ever four-point line as early as 2017. So do you think this is an aspect of the game that leagues overseas, or even maybe the NBA one day, can and will adopt?
You know what? I really, truly believe that it's something that the NBA will adopt. At one time, they didn't have the three-point line. You know, players are getting stronger and more athletic, and the dimensions of the court are staying the same. So it's only right that you widen it out, and I think a shot 30 feet away from the basket would be a perfect addition to the NBA.
Well, especially with how the league has changed from being a big man center league to now it seems like almost everyone can shoot the ball from three-point land, so it would make sense if a four-point shot got implemented. I agree. Now, you've been fortunate enough to travel the world with the Globetrotters organization, but what has been among the most memorable experiences, either on or off the court for you?
Well, you know, I've traveled to 81 countries around the globe, and I've traveled to every single state in the U.S., and I think some of the most memorable moments were, you know, I got a chance to see the pyramids in Egypt. I got a chance to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I walked the Great Wall of China. I even played basketball at the White House with former President Barack Obama. So all of those things are just amazing experiences that I had an opportunity to do over my career.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing time. I mean, there's so many cool opportunities. But is there any specific piece of unfinished business, so to speak, that you would like to accomplish by the end of your career with the Globetrotters? Is there any rock still left unturned, per se?
Oh, yes. There's always new places to go. I've been to 81 countries, but our organization has been to 123 countries around the world. So hopefully I'll get an opportunity to see some cool places and meet some more cool people. So I really have a ball meeting all of the nice people all around the globe.
Shifting over to the current NBA season, we were just talking about the 4-point line and how that could possibly be in the near future. But what is your take on the current standing of the league, the NBA specifically, and the formation of various so-called super teams, such as the Golden State Warriors, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, and all these teams curating high-level players to make a run at the NBA Finals?
Well, I think like anything with times, you evolve. I really enjoyed the old days when players stuck to their teams, but I understand players coming together to form a super team, and playing on a super team myself with the Harlem Globetrotters, I can't be but so mad at it.
Yeah, I understand that. Definitely a perk that you guys get to have. But specifically for you, do you have any NBA playoffs predictions?
Yeah. I think this year the Sixers will make it for the first time in a long time into the playoffs. And also that Celtic team is looking really amazing. It looks like an amazing young team. And so it's great to see such a team that's considered an underdog be an overdog, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. There's been so many changes in the off-season this year. This is definitely one of the most intense off-seasons with so many changes happening throughout the league. But I want to digress for a minute now towards football relating to the NFL. Being a professional athlete yourself and being a high-profile athlete, what do you make of all the controversy that's surrounded the national anthem, the president's comments, the protests, and related events that have been making headlines lately?
Well, there's a couple things I think about it. Well, first, as Harlem Globetrotters, our very uniform is that of the flag, and although I don't believe that his intentions were to mix those two up, as an organization, I don't think we would ever choose to confuse the two. Actually, right now we're overseas entertaining the troops. We go to entertain the troops every year. But I think the beauty about having freedom of speech and having those amazing troops fight for us is that you do have exactly that, freedom of speech. So I think I've chosen to respect everyone's views all around the board, and I think America gives us that right to respect each and everyone's views, whether we like them or not.
Well, I think that's a very great outlook to have, and I know you personally you're involved with various causes. In fact, I saw recently you were speaking to a group of students in Newton Square, Pennsylvania, on the topic of bullying. So what advice can you give to our listeners, both kids and adults alike, who may be going through similar situations?
Well, the topic of bullying is an important topic to capture. And for kids listening, I was a kid wanting to be a Harlem Globetrotter at a young age. I wanted to be a Harlem Globetrotter since I was 6 years old. And I would get teased about wanting to be a Harlem Globetrotter, and I'm actually living my dream. So I point that out to kids that your dreams are attainable with hard work and doing the right things. But we teach kids about the ABCs. The A being action, take action, tell an adult. B being bravery, be brave enough to walk away from situations, brave enough not to laugh when someone's being teased. And C is compassion, and that simply means caring about others. So it's important that you're compassionate. A lot of bullying takes place because someone doesn't have a lot of friends. So we teach kids that if they see someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, be their friend. And those three simple rules kind of resonate with children.
What about other challenges? The road to success can be really rocky sometimes, as I'm sure you can imagine. What do you feel was your own greatest challenge or even sacrifice along the way?
Well, I had many. When I first sent a tape to the Harlem Globetrotters or a video to the Harlem Globetrotters, they told me no. It didn't work out, but I kept going and persevered. I became known as one of the best dribblers in the world, and the Globetrotters came looking for me. So I would say to kids out there to persevere and persevere and get through everything that they're going through. And so the challenge is they can make it through.
Well, you talk about perseverance, and I definitely think that's a very key aspect to live your life through and by. Now, at this point in your life and success, and after all you've been through to get where you are, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Well, you know what? I tend to live the same things that I preach to the kids nowadays, and I think those are the things that help me become successful. First, I teach kids to listen to their parents, teachers, and their coaches, because those people are trying to lead them in the right direction, they've made mistakes so that children don't have to. Number two, I would say stay in school and work hard in school and get your education. You know, I play professional basketball for a living, but I have a master's degree. And I think I was taught to shoot for the moon, and even if I miss, I land amongst the stars. And lastly, I would say believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. Like I said, people say there was no way I could be a Harlem Globetrotter. They would say I dribble too much, and now I travel around the world dribbling a basketball for a living. So I think those three things, if you stick true to those three things, you'll be able to make it.
Yeah, definitely. Well handled. You've given the Sports Watchdog listeners some really great information and insights, so I thank you for that. Where can we go to learn more about you and get a full schedule of the Harlem Globetrotters games worldwide?
Well, you can learn from the Harlem Globetrotters at harlemglobetrotters.com, and our social media is at Globies on Twitter, and I am at Chris Handles on Twitter and Instagram.
So that's it for today, everybody. And as always, anyone who wants to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at A Sports Watchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.